has finally come. This is the WGLNA Season 2 Finals final match. One of these teams is walking away with not only this sweet trophy, but $75,000 and a guaranteed spot. Actually, they're both going to the grand finals in Warsaw, Poland in April. So that's pretty awesome in itself. One of them's gonna walk away with a trophy and a whole lot of cash. And I know everybody here is excited. Are you guys as hyped for this as I am? That is what I am talking about. We have two teams that have fought so hard all day to make it to this spot. We've got the wonderful SIMP team against the hard-fought eClipse team, who are ready to throw down in fisticuffs or fist-tank cuffs. I don't know what you would call fisticuffs on a tank, but whatever you would call that, that is what they're ready to throw it down in. And I am going to go to the one and only Toma with his tag team partner, Negatron.
Thank you so much, Fubar. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Christian Toma. To my left is David Williams, and this is the final event. Whoever wins this is the winner of the WGLNA Season 2 Gold League. David, would you like to try out the air horn? That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Get hyped right now. Let's pull the brackets for you guys. This is what has happened so far tonight. It was first Noble versus eClipse, where eClipse won and is now facing off against SIMP, who won against High Voltage. There was the third and fourth player match where High Voltage took down Noble, which guaranteed eClipse and SIMP both for a spot in Warsaw, Poland for the grand finals, which has just got to be such an amazing feeling for both of these teams. David, aside from the grand prize, and again, the pride in line and all that, I mean, potentially these guys could have been playing for that spot. Now that it's both theirs, do you feel like if you're in that position, would that have been a huge weight now off of your shoulders?
To an extent. I mean, there's still a lot of the line. They're both going to the grand finals, but they're now playing for the seeding. And first seed is incredibly valuable. All of the first seeds in the grand finals are separated from one another. So second seed is very likely to face off against a first seed from other parts of the world. They could be facing off against the number one from Europe, the number one from Russia. So they want to get this out of the way now and guarantee that they're going to move a little bit further on into the brackets, or at least have a better chance of it when they actually get to Poland. But what a Cinderella story on both of these teams almost. We have one of the youngest teams in the league. Yeah. Both in reality and since their team formation, that has now made it all the way to the finals. And SIMP, the oldest team still standing in the league, is also here again. And who even saw that coming until the last couple weeks?
So here's the thing, too, that's super exciting. You thought SIMP was going to take this night. I thought eClipse was going to take this night. It is now down to those two teams. So let's throw it over to Fubar, who is sitting by with SIMP. Fubar, take it away.
I am back once again with Overlord Prime. It seems like every time we hang out and chat, you guys end up winning. Is that the strategy you plan on playing today in this match?
You're a good luck charm.
I'd like to think so. Now, tell me a little bit about how pumped you guys are, knowing that no matter what happens, you're guaranteed a spot in the finals, but that first place prize, it's one win away. Are you guys amped for that?
Oh, we're amped. You know, not much pressure because, you know, we're already set to go to the grand finals, but, you know, more money is more money. Can't say no to that.
So tell me, you know, how excited are you guys knowing that you fought hard all season long, the time has finally come, you put in the man hours, you put in the tank hours, and now it's time to go for first place, Season 2?
We're going all in. We're just going to try winning. I do apologize for Noble. They were my favorite guys. And just for them, guys, we're going to be these Boy Scouts for you.
They are going to beat these Boy Scouts. Shots fired on this side. Meadowhawk, are shots being fired from your side?
Thank you, Fubar. I don't know. Are you guys a bunch of Boy Scouts?
Yes.
Well, there we go. It doesn't matter.
But these Boy Scouts going to win.
Okay, so now you guys have defeated one giant to get to this point. You now face an even bigger giant that is so hot they are on fire. You've had a couple of hours to think about how this game is going to go down. What do you have planned against SIMP?
Let me just go over all the strategies, just so SIMP knows. I mean, hopefully it goes the same way that a regular season match went, close 5-4 win, and hopefully we bring it together and have another win against SIMP. But they're a great team. We both beat great teams to get here in Noble and HWC last season's finals. So, I mean, it's going to be a competitive match, and ultimately the most important thing is that we are the two teams representing North America at Grand Finals in Poland, and so regardless of the winners, we are already focused on that.
Excellent. Now with that, you just found out that you guys are going to Poland regardless of the result of this map. So how do you stay focused on this game and on winning this match against SIMP?
$30,000 is a pretty good incentive.
That's true indeed. To find out who's going to win this, let's go to Christian and David with the call.
Thank you so much, Meadowhawk. And I feel like eClipse played that pretty wise. Yes, Simp fired some shots there, but since they are both going to Poland, they might be sharing some plane flights over there.
These Boy Scouts going to win.
These Boy Scouts gonna win.
What a great response.
If they win it, that's got to be their shirts. They got to put that on the shirt sometime if they are the ones to pick this one up. We do have the fantasy page now ready between both these teams, so let's go ahead and pull that up. And David, I guess we can talk about the last time that these two teams fought, but it really doesn't matter because it seems like both of them are just so different from that point.
Plus, they just covered it a little bit for themselves. So here we go with a match preview from WGLFantasy.com. FantasyWGL.com. My fault. eClipse played Podolska the most. The 140 the most, Master Pupil their top scorer, SIMP Himmelsdorf the most, T22 the most, and Overlord Prime their top scorer. Now, not a whole lot to really draw from these statistics as both of these teams have gone up completely differently. Completely differently throughout these finals. And they both put on such an excellent show. Now, we're actually going to be getting into Cliff starting all of this off, which may be a little bit of an eyebrow raiser. Well, we already saw that come out where eClipse allowed Noble to play steps. And they took it to him on. And I kind of like this attitude. They're not afraid.
I like those.
They're not afraid at all. They're like, okay, I'm going to go for the psychological factor. You want to play Cliff? If I beat you on Cliff, where else are you going to run to? I love it. I absolutely love it. You put enough time, enough planning into it.
A corner.
And you put him into a corner.
Yeah, well done. Let's see if eClipse can do that right now. SIMP, though, was looking so strong against High Voltage. Really not even giving up a single match. They even when they were down, they came back. When eClipse was down against Noble, they came back. And ladies and gentlemen, we are getting ready to load into what is our final match here. Declare the winner of $75,000. And right now, it's time to pick favorites. If you think it's SIMP, let me hear you. Oh, if you think it's going to be eClipse, let me hear you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Chat, let us know. Let's get right into the battle and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
All righty. First game of our final match of the season. SIMP on offense with a 113, a bat shot, a 907, two T22s, a TVP, and an RU-251. eClipse with two bat shots, two E50Ms, two T22s, and an RU-251 of their own. Now that's an interesting little twist. Two E50Ms, very heavy German tank. Medium tank, however. See if they've got some sort of special designs on that. Maybe that's a middle brawl lineup for them. eClipse so far putting on a clinic on a number of maps.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Impressing pretty much everybody here in this crowd, I think. And if you aren't, you need to have your eyes checked.
If you aren't, then are you even watching right now? My favorite part, if I actually go into this battle, is I'm just kind of thinking back now after I've done it about asking the crowd to cheer for one of the teams. If we didn't have them on mics, people might have just heard me just getting excited.
Nice blind shot from Drynets. Dark God Zim going a little bit too far around that corner. The counter spot, SIMP knowing where Dark God Zim had to be. Drynets sending off two shots, all in the blind fire positions that Dark God Zim would have to be in. And Overlord Prime taking a huge amount of damage in the crossing.
747 there into that T22. He's got to be careful now as eClipse has gained control over the top half of the hill. Let's see if SIMP can come back from the donut and find a pick. Red is lit up here. A little bit of damage. They're going on Tigers. A couple more shots, and he might be going down. He's got to be careful in that bat chat. If he does not get all of those shots out there, it's kind of a waste. Nitzgo is going to get surrounded in that T22. There is nowhere that he can run. He's just got to do as much damage as possible right now. 11-12 going into him. One more shot. It looks like it's going to be Drawcam to pick that one up. The first tank fallen for the side of SIMP, and Adrox is taking a lot, over 1,900 points. More finishes him off. eClipse coming out extremely strong right now here into our final match. This is to decide the victor, ladies and gentlemen. It is all on the line for both these teams, and eClipse is looking great.
Brett in here going on a one-on-one against a 113, and actually Drynets now chiming in. Brett taking down photo finish quite a bit here. Mort picks up E63M6 as eClipse starts to counter push back into the middle. An incredible gutsy play to make a lot of these moves. Photo finish now caught in between several firing angles. Master Pupil takes him down, and eClipse is going right after SIMP on their home map.
Not a single tank has fallen for the side of eClipse, and yet SIMP down to just 3. Overlord Prime taking a shot there for 307. He does take down Tigers, but Tigers does find him before now it is looking like it's just all over for SIMP. Crimson Corsair 664, Drynets 753. They know where they're at. T1 Diabetic coming around strong. Master Pupil gonna finish that one off, leaving just Crimson, and eClipse is gonna pick up their first victory here of their third and final match of the night. Well, technically fourth. Coming off the side. What a shot and style points. Nonetheless, eClipse taking an early lead here against SIMP. one step closer to $75,000. David, what you said you wanted to see, you just got. eClipse is like, hey, Simp, you think you're confident on Cliff? You think this is a map you're really good on? Let's just take it to you.
This is the kind of play that I came back to casting for. This is what I love about World of Tanks. This is exactly what I wanted to see. Let's go ahead and push directly into those stats if we can. We can cover the exact details of the strategy after that. And right now, Overlord Prime for Simp, 2175 in his T22, 1587 for Nitz. The rest of the team not breaking, well, we'll give it to Crimson Corsair, 1155. The rest of the team not breaking 1,000. That just comes down to strategic advantage. An incredibly gutsy play coming out from eClipse, obviously studying their opponent and figuring out the best angles they can play. Great game from Master Pupil, perfect 9 in his E50M, 3483 for Drawcap, 2276 and 2 kills. Brett with 2266, 1959 for T1 Diabetic, 1128 for Mort. Dark God Zim and Tigers both below 1,000, but Tigers making a lot of the calls in that battle.
And still
Took the gutsiest play out of them all, went directly into the southeast and tried to guarantee that he'd get the angles that he wanted. He knew he could be the one that takes the damage. That's going to give him the room to make the calls that he needs to make. He's got a bat shot. He can let those shots out if he needs them. And then after that, while it's reloading, he can direct the rest of his team around, slicing the map right down the middle. Seeing some of the weaknesses that are inherent in this map that a lot of teams have missed. A lot of teams like to go into the 1-2, but if you don't get incredibly aggressive and leave some tanks in the southeast, you have some serious problems. We can get into that maybe a little bit more when we show it on the match.
Yeah.
But eClipse right now, oh, I'm so excited.
Looking so strong. What's amazing to me is what has happened from the regular season to the playoffs to where we are now. Their kind of story of increased progression. We talked about how Simp has the same story, right? But kind of over the regular season, eClipse just turned it on in the last month, really. I don't know what they found. It might be the hat that Mort is wearing, because that definitely does, it looks extremely spicy, getting some of those spicy plays coming through. But ladies and gentlemen, that is just one battle. We have a lot to go here to decide who is going to be the victor. Will it be Simp? Will it be eClipse? eClipse is up 1-0. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got now for our tanks.
I know this may be hard to believe, but eClipse is on offense now. They were actually on defense last time.
Right. Great point.
Which may seem a little bit hard to understand. Simp with a bat shat and STB, 2 T22s, 2 TVPs, and an RU-251. eClipse with a bat shat and 907 and STB, 2 T22s, a TVP, and an RU-251. Simp now on defense. Going to have to put a point on the board very quickly here. Things start slipping through their grasp, so would not be surprised if they thought this was going to be their bread and butter map. But I got to tell you, anytime a team just lets you pick something that you think you're good at, it's always a little bit nerve-wracking. I mean, most of your team is usually very excited, and the caller in the back of his head is like, do they know something? Do they have something in store?
They gave us Cliff. They must be fools.
And eClipse doing a very skeleton force into the 1-2 to get an additional angle. Just Dark God Zim to lead screen for T1 Diabetic so he doesn't throw his life away. All of Simp going to go into the middle. eClipse doing a lot of standoff play into the southeast. This is a nice little meta play. If Simp plays too hard here into the middle, they will get ripped up quite a bit. But a lot of intelligence being denied here as Drynets starts getting lit up over in the western half of the map. And Dark God Zim getting ready to take him down. Overlord Prime picks up Brett.
What in the world? Where did that happen? T1 Diabetic does find Drynets. The drug just takes down Mort. That's 2 tanks gone for eClipse. Overlord Prime doing a great job here, kind of leading his team. Let's see what eClipse can do to turn this one around, or if Simp will continue this victory. They're now up over 2,000 points of HP already. Only a minute and 10 seconds into the battle. And if I were Simp, this is exactly what I would be going for. All right, Clips, yeah, you got one on us on Cliff, but this is our map, and this is what we can do. Adrox is taking 391 right there, and like you pointed out, eClipse now is on offense, so it is up to them to make the plays, essentially.
Here you can see the remnants of those two tanks in exactly the same place. And that is impressive. Simp obviously finding a nice little crossfire to get that damage in. You look away for 2 seconds and 2 tanks die, and T1 Diabetic goes down as Simp begins their answer to eClipse's first game.
Only lost Drynets. There's only an RU-251, a scout down. Tigers coming in from the back. He looked like he took the long way around the lighthouse, and I was going to try to flank. Meanwhile, Nitz and Dark God Zim are going head-to-head, and RU-251 gets an STB1. He will get a little bit of damage, but that is not going to be enough. Tigers now will be going down to Drox's. Nitz picks Dark God Zim up, and this is looking like it's gonna go over to Simp. Crimson Corsair still alive, and well, I guess you could say in that bat chat, he is on reload. It is just Master Pupil and Drawcap. Simp just want to end this one quick. They don't want to draw this out. They want to let eClipse know that they are not afraid to take it right to him. Photo finish, taking down Drawcap. leaving just Master Pupil in that STB1, a complete mirror from what we just saw. Last time eClipse only lost 1 tank. This time it's looking like SIMP is only going to lose 1 tank as Master Pupil taking 646 there. 2 shots from over the prime. Crimson Corsair is going to pick him up from the top. And that is going to be SIMP tying it up 1-1 here on the cliff in our final match of the night. As you can see there, again, not overly celebrating. It is just 1 victory, but it was a great victory. And this is kind of what I'm expecting all night, is either we're going to see these teams relatively the same. We've got eClipse picking up a very decisive victory first. Now SIMP answering with their very decisive victory. David, what was it there that Over the Prime really did super well with SIMP, because we were focusing down what was happening over on the eastern or western side, and all of a sudden, like, 2 tanks go down.
It looked like it was probably a miscue from eClipse taking a weird vector under some sort of strange intelligence that they thought that they had. Probably expected more tanks to be moving west to deal with the TVP that was over there, as that looks like a good pick. Perhaps getting a little bit ahead in the meta and assumptions, and didn't really work out. It turns out SIMP really didn't care about the RU-251 that much, and instead picked up 2 T-22s for it. That's what it looked like to me. Let's go ahead and roll one of those stats and see exactly how much damage was done. Over here for eClipse, Dark God Zim, who the RU-251 leads the damage today.
Why not?
All right, why not? 1976 coming out of him. 1601 out of draw cab. 1065 for T1 Diabetic. And the rest of the tanks, not even breaking 1,000. And Morden Brett, oh, that is brutal. 2 of the better players on their team going down in that early volley. Would not be surprised if one of those was an ammo rack. But we're going to go over here and check out SIMP in the meantime. 31-58 out of Overlord Prime with 2 kills. Droxus 29-22 kills as well. Photo Finish 24-42. TVP driven by E63M6, 16-11. 12-70 for Crimson Corsair. Almost 1,000 for Nits. Dry Nits going down. We're getting some key information. And SIMP already getting back in the game. Unfazed from that first
just
loss.
Like that, which is what I love, because usually, sometimes we'll see in the regular season some teams take a loss like that right off the bat, and you just see the incremental, increasing, I'm going to go with increasing tilt and kind of depression on that team. They start losing. Don't you give me that look. But SIMP, just shaking it off.
Absolutely. I feel like both of those games, probably the message that their commanders gave them immediately after that was the first game, SIMP was like, okay, we made a mistake here and here. We crossed. They got a little bit of meta with it. They picked him here. They looked at our strategy. We made a mistake. We'll do it better next time, and we'll change up. No big deal. eClipse then, trying to run another kind of dynamic play again. Same thing happened to them. They probably have the same message. Like, we made a mistake. Brush it off. Let's go. So both teams not really getting into any sort of tilt territory yet.
No.
Because I mean, how can you control that? If you lose 2 tanks that quickly, either you made a gigantic mistake or a strat just didn't work, something along those lines. Like I said, very likely an ammo rack on one of those tanks. That happened far too fast.
Super fast. Yeah, I was like, nothing's going on, then a bunch of damage here. One of the things that I noticed is the Eclipse actually sent a member, I believe, I don't know if it was Brett or if it was Mortar, who it was, around the lighthouse. And we never see teams do that.
We see it every once in a while. It's especially more common in other regions as well.
Okay.
But in this situation, it can be good if you're looking for some sort of stagnant play, especially if you can get him in behind just enough so people turn right when you hit the middle. The problem with Cliff is you can dance around that idea all day, and a lot of people have tried this kind of stuff where you get these these playful little gimmicks.
Oh, I'll go here.
We'll turn their turret. We'll do that. But what it comes down to is teams that understand it. All you have to do is take a certain set of positions in the middle that you can't really see into, and unless you're blind firing to push them back, you do not have the capability of moving around you think you do. And they're going to let you step right into a kill zone before they get lit. When they get lit, they're firing at you, and it's not going to work out.
Not a pretty thing at all. Also, I could just see, like, if that tank were to do that, then you can just have an overmatch, and you're just like, oh, hey, this tank's way out here. Let's just push over on the side.
Well, yeah, actually, that would be a perfect situation for them. If they want to send 2 tanks after that one, that's perfect. It's a very long distance. There's a lot of terrain over there. You can drag 2 tanks away with one for a very long period of time. Then you got a 6-on-5 in the other part of the map.
Right.
So that is ideal. And that's the kind of idea a lot of people play with. But these 2 teams, neither of them are going to make that mistake. So it's almost better. We may actually end up seeing some kind of final meta here as people just stop playing around with stuff and just meet up in the middle. But we'll see. Obviously, so far, both teams have had their little tricks. They both worked.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see these next 2 games.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, then let's get into those next 2 games. It is all tied up. SIMP to eClipse 1-1. We're switching sides again. Let's go right into it and take a look at what we've got for tanks.
For SIMP, 2 113s, a Batchat, 2 T22s, a TVP, and an RU251. For eClipse, 2 113s, 2 Batchats, 2 T22s, and an RU251. We've got an exchange of a Batchat for a TVP. That is the only difference in these teams side to side. And that really depends. In one flat-out engagement, eClipse has the advantage. In a slightly longer engagement, E63 M6 comes back in the TVP. More likely than not, both teams will probably focus on a Batchat and a TVP or something like that pretty early, and we'll see it kind of balance out relatively quickly. But SIMP now on offense. Clips on defense. SIMP going to send some tanks into the 1-2. A little bit broadcasted by the 113s, I believe.
Okay.
And eClipse knows that as well. They're going to take theirs into the 5 line. Anybody who steps too far up into the middle could very likely get eaten alive by eClipse. But I think that's what SIMP is shopping for, as they've already seen that game played once. Now they're just going to set up a trap for that if it happens again.
Wow. Dryness with a little bit of an aggressive blind fire there, but he does have some solid cover to go back into, so he's not really trying to stay hidden for too long.
It's going to the same place this time. Okay, maybe last time they made some sort of driving error that got that T22 where Nitz is right now lit up so badly by the initial positions. In this situation, one shot for 11 coming out. That's an acceptable amount for a T22 there, no big deal. One shot and T1 diabetic as he tries to climb on top of the cliff here. If he gets anywhere close to the lighthouse, it's going to be a problem. 607-2 as he goes up there. The same position, Ox Mathis died in 1126 on him as he tries to get up, but he just hit the safe corner of the map. Now trust me, that's not a whole lot of hit points, but it is enough to still be a serious impact on the game. 5 shots from up there, you can play a lot of things from up there. You can do all sorts of shots, all sorts of problems. And the more time SIMP spends trying to get that kill, the more they're going to be distracted while Eclipse moves around.
All right, we'll see right now what T1 Diabetic can do.
Going to get caught in between a little bit of a wombo combo maybe here. Tigers, the other Batchat might be able to catch these 2 T22s if they get caught unaware, but T1 Diabetic is going to have to play that very, very carefully. And I do not know how that didn't get spotted.
What in the world?
Yeah, looks like, yep, parked directly in too many bushes. They drove right by. Tigers is going to look at that one after the game, be a little bit frustrated, or maybe he knows that exactly and he wants to shoot them when they're on the backside of this hill, because they certainly cannot get out of his firing solution. You know, it doesn't look like that's the case. He's now starting to rotate. He does get spots on Nitz. We may see some damage start coming out here.
All right, a shot there going up onto the side of T1 Diabetic. Looks like Nitz taking 402 here. Tigers now has full rain. One shot bouncing off that T22. Nitz having to dive off the hill. 369 going to him. Tigers has, looks like, one more shot left. Let's see if it connects. Oh, he's going to hold it, but now he is spotted out. Now he is in the danger zone as Overlord Prime is going to start coming to him. He's going to start going up the kite, going down the side of the cliff. This is a place we have not seen.
This is still safe. This is definitely a great place to be. I've actually been surprised a lot of people don't use it.
Really?
He does have the backup that he needs, and SIMP is not going to push into here willy-nilly because they know that this is a sketchy area.
I love that so much. Eclipse showing us parts of the map that we have not seen people use all season long. We'll see how SIMP can dig him out.
He's almost reloaded entirely. Took one shot for all that. He didn't get a whole lot of damage on it. Overlord Prime actually starting to keep him down. Looks like SIMP's answer to that was just to keep him out of the fight by dedicating one tank there. Nitz taking another shot all the way back there on the hill, 437 from him. And Tigers, while he is stuck, as long as Eclipse doesn't spend too much resources trying to get him unstuck, they might still be in business here. But Tigers going to start getting the shot. Tried to get that pick on Nitz. It was worth the risk, but he didn't get the connection. He needs to fade that scout and try and slide away someplace else to look for that shot again. Photo finish taking 440. Overlord Prime taking 459. We're seeing that same kind of game where everything slows down and people just start soaking on one another. And it's all these little mistakes that start adding up. You poke at the wrong time, you get shot.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a minute here before anybody really gets a significant advantage on the other, as they are almost dead even in the hit points. And positionally, a very similar situation as well.
Draw cap, though, taking 805 in that 113. A little bit of wombo from Nitz there, as well as another member from SIMP. He's got to be careful, still spotted out. What's amazing to me, Nitz and T1 Diabetic have been so low for quite a while, and yet they're still alive and a part of the team.
That's it right there. Somebody's got to get over there and stop Drynitz from getting those shots into the back of the 113s, or Eclipse is going to break down very quickly as those go down. And it won't be very long before that happens. Drynitz knows somebody's going to come for him. Dark God Zim starting to slide in and look for that kill as well. But that'll be a head-to-head fight, as they're both right about the same level of hit points. A very marginal difference.
Looks like Photo Finish, though, might be able to get a shot there onto Dark God Zim if he is spotted. Meanwhile, E63M6 taking 650 points damage. The first 2 initial shots missed from both the teams. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, an RU251 Battle Royale. Who is going to win it? Will it be Dark God Zim? Will it be Drynets? This might decide the entire match. Both very low. The shot from Drynets going through. The shot from Dark God Zim going through as well. One more though. Oh, so low. What a low roll. But as well, Dark God Zim should have it up unless Drynets find it. He's not going to be able to take that one down. Dark God Zim finishes off that member from SIMP, and Droxus, meanwhile, does find draw cap, so a 1-for-1 exchange, and it's actually a tier 9 for a tier 10, so a good exchange more on the side of SIMP than it is on eClipse. SIMP, though, down. Oh, now they're up in HP as Brett taking 326 there. Tigers loves Pepper in that bad chat, just waiting still in that location. Obviously, he unleashed some of his shots there. Master Pupil, though, taking a lot of damage. He's got to be careful. Droxus, though, right on his front door. One little bit of ram damage going on in there. Master Pupil finds this. Photo finish takes down Master Pupil. 5 tanks for the side of SIMP. 3 now for the side of eClipse. Droxus finds another one here. Droxus now taking a shot from Dark God Zim, but he is not worried at all. Dark God, not a really huge threat. Meanwhile, over there down in the southeastern part of the map, Mort does find a kill and is starting to push up against SIMP here. Crimson Corsair taking a shot there from the back. David, looking at the time, again, SIMP is on offense. If you're Eclipse, what are you going to do? Do you press up against SIMP right now, or do you just hold back and wait?
Well, right now, Eclipse needs to get to some port at safety and try and get some little bit of control back over the map, as SIMP has all the critical places right now, but SIMP, like you said, is on offense. They do have to figure out how they're going to turn this into a win. Right now, Dark God Zim making a great play, getting away, not letting himself get picked, but T1 Diabetic going down on top of the hill was probably the biggest win that SIMP got out of all that. Basically, this entire battle breaking down into a series of little knife fights around each corner here.
Yeah,
as each
all over the map.
Individual player trying to get their advantage on somebody else. Look at all the hit points that were lost just during that RU-251 fight. And Mort, Brett rotating back around the northern side as Tigers goes back into the south. And E63 M6 and Photo Finish might be in their shot solutions. These T22s might get the shots that Eclipse needs to come back.
All right, Brett now being lit up. Mort as well. Looks like SIMP was going to go over for the eastern cap there, and Eclipse is going to stop them right in their tracks. Photo Finish. A couple more shots, and he might go down. Mort, though, missing his shot. That might be it for Eclipse. Very close game indeed. Crimson Corsair up on top of the hill. Look at that shot. He's going to try it again. He takes down Tigers. Meanwhile, Mort does find Crimson. A minute on the clock. If Eclipse can just hold out from this 60 seconds, they will be the winners. But they have 3 members of SIMP who are trying to stop them. With that kill from Droxus, it looks like that is going to seal Eclipse's fate. SIMP just need to take down Brett. Droxus picks it up, and that is going to be SIMP. Oh no, Dark God Zim. He's been out of the fight the entire time. He was on the other side of the map doing obviously what he should have been doing, just waiting to see if SIMP were to win that. He might have been able to stall out the time. It is not going to be the case right now. He is not going to be quick enough, it looks like, to get a shot here. And if he does, he's going to have to solve for the 30 seconds. This is going to be a miracle if Eclipse can pull this one out.
Dark God Zim lines up the shot, and he gets the reset.
Oh, what a reset there. Now he has to stay alive. He has to get another shot. Let's see if he can do it. 8 seconds on the clock. The shot from SIMP missing. Dark God Zim just needs to know. His shot misses. He will have one more shot in time. He might be able to find the other reset. It does. It connects onto Photo. He has to keep going. He needs to keep finding the resets. He's looking under Droxus. Oh, that is going to be it. The clock does go down to 0, but just in time, and it looks like SIMP is going to pick up that victory there, increasing it 2-0, but that was close. That was so close right there.
What a heroic effort from Dark God Zim. Honestly, even getting in one reset was so incredibly unlikely. That battle, just an incredible display of the overall tanking ability of these players. So many of these situations you can look at and you say, well, T22 is maybe focusing on the wrong target, but all of this, if you actually broke it down and peeled away all the different layers of what was going on, Dark God Zim was pushed away from the battle by the 113. Then they came back. The 2 tanks that were there, I believe it was Droxus and Photo, took the shots and made the T22s fire at them to give E63 the space to come in with the TVP.
Sure.
Crimson Corsair took the pick on Tigers that he knew he needed to get to open up the possibility of any of that happening. Knowing full well there's a good chance he was either going to get stuck on the side of the hill, fall to his death, or get shot. So it's just a series of things. That match had basically been decided a couple seconds before that, 30 seconds, 40 seconds, as long as everybody played to the best of their ability.
Gotcha.
And strategically from that point forward, it was just a cascade of there's little logic things that happened. And man, let's go ahead and check out the stats.
That's a battle. Let's see those stats. That was a close fight at the end.
So for eClipse, Mort with 26.33 in his T22, 24.79 out of Master Pupil, 15.85 out of Dark God Zim, 15.78 out of Tigers, 13.12 for Draw Cab, 11.97 for Brett, and T1 Diabetic with 8.11. Big difference there. T1 Diabetic not taking as much damage on the way up to the top, and that would have been an easy win for eClipse. Meanwhile, wow, Adroxus, 35.65 in his 113 plus 5 kills and 11.50 bounced overall.
That's all right.
19.52 from Nits, 18.99 for Photo Finish, 18.65 from Overlord Prime, 16.32 by Drynets, 12.31 by E63M6, and Crimson Corsair with 10.56 and a very critical shot. Everybody breaking 1,000 for Simp.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Looking at these teams, they're breaking 1,000 time after time after time. Again, ladies and gentlemen, the next battle is about to be underway. It is Simp versus eClipse. Let's see if Simp can make it 3-1, or will eClipse be able to come back and tie it up as we finish off Cliff for our finals. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
eClipse trying to tie it up as they move into the next map. Simp trying to extend their lead with 2 113s in STB, 2 T22s at TVP, and an M40, M43. eClipse with a bat shot at 907 in STB, 2 T22s at TVP, and an RU 251.
All right, now this is the, we'll see if this is the same tactic that Simp trying to pull against High Voltage, bringing that artillery, where they decided to hold it back, still have a 6v7 fight in the middle, and still win.
This is definitely a litmus test for Simp. They could do exactly the same thing and see if eClipse tries to meta it as a test to try and get inside eClipse's thinking pattern for better advantage, or they could do exactly what they're doing, disregard all those head games and play for a different one, just going 1-2 and doing something different. Trying to get some picks here. T1 Diabetic and Dark God Zim going to slip through. T1 Diabetic, maybe not, as he's just now hitting the ascent to the hill. Photo finish, and Nits collapsing in on him. 405 out already.
This might be it here. He does get up around the corner. He's going to have to keep going for the rest of his team. They find Drynets, 362 going to him. Oh, T1 Diabetic just dodging a shot there from Crimson Corsair, and the rest of Simp coming up. But look at the turn. eClipse now in a position to start capitalizing. Simp's turrets are now turning, and the focus has begun. Photo finish, taking 956 points of damage here. Drynets taking some as well. The battle going back and forth. E63M6 taking a good chunk of that 50-51. Who is going to come out on top as the battle for the donut, it looks like, is going to be the deciding factor for the final battle here onto Cliff. eClipse taking a good chunk of damage. Now they are down HP-wise. Drawcap getting dropped well below half in that T22. And Simp doing a great job pushing eClipse back. It looks like they might be able to pinch him down, but Tigers is going to find Drynets. That's an STB1 down, and he is going to join the rest of the team. He's actually wrapping around the side and trying to flank on the rest of the members of Simp.
M40. And right in the middle of everyone.
What a splash damage! Look at all those numbers going onto the side of eClipse. What a shot for Crimson Corsair, being set up beautifully by Simp. Tigers now coming around the side, taking way too much damage, trying to split Simp, but it is just not working. Adroxus picks up a kill. Over the Prime picks up a kill, and it looks like this is going to be Simp's third victory here in our final match onto Cliff. T1 Diabetic, though, is going to try to come back. They are down so much. But the XP, look at that double kill coming out. Crimson Corsair might have a shot up in time. It's not going to matter. Nits takes down Brett, leaving just Tigers alive. Let's see if Crimson Corsair is just going to let that one fly where they think he is. E63M6 will spot him out. Now he's going on the way through. E63M6 is up and loaded. 2 shots in. It is not going to matter. Simp picking up their third victory. A nice 2-game lead as we end Cliff here for our final game of the night. I have never seen in the play of either Season 1 or Season 2 a shot from artillery like that, landing in the center of 4+ tanks and splash damaging all of them. So beautiful.
The only time I've seen that, people got into a training room together and did it on purpose just to see what would happen. That was incredible.
Well
I was
done,
starting
Crimson.
to wonder why eClipse was backing up so en masse when they had such an advantage on its own. Once Tigers had joined them, I expected them to counter push directly into the face to get away from that artillery. They had a numerical advantage. Just a little bit of an oversight there, and clearly Simp are still the Cliff Masters in North America. Let's go ahead and check out those stats, because we all wonder exactly how much that shot counted for. But I'm going to tease you with it. Starting off with Master Pupil, 1953 in the STB, 1345 coming out of Mort, 1126 for T1 Diabetic. Nobody else breaking 1,000. That tends to happen when somebody drops a bomb on your head.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Go over here And for SIMP, 26-69 at Overlord Prime, 24-49 out of Photo Finish, 19-31 from Adroxus, and Crimson Corsair. 2 shots, 0 hits.
4 splash.
4 splash. So you can pretty much look at this and say that one shot, I'm pretty darn sure that one shot just did 18-40.
Oh my gosh.
For SIMP.
That's got to be a record.
That is crazy.
That has got to be a record.
That's better than a full penetration almost.
Well done, Crimson.
Nits, 14-80. And 3 kills, 14-63 for E63 M6. That's ironic. And Drynitz with 7-18 overall as we move into the next map.
Drynitz now getting caught out there in the end. But one of the things that has kind of been like a theme going through. Yeah, David's seeing the map that we're going to be playing. We're going to be going onto Prohorovka, ladies and gentlemen, here, which potentially could be the final map of our finals. Again, SIMP now up 3-1 against eClipse. They're one step closer to $75,000. David, kind of your first impressions on a Prohorovka for tonight.
Well, it's almost like they talk to each other ahead of time, and they're like, all right, what map do you want, Cliff? Okay, we want Pro. Does that sound good? That sounds good.
Fair enough. Let's just give it to each other. So we'll see if eClipse can come back here. They've shown great dominance on this map. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle is about to begin. It is far from over right now. SIMP up 3-1, starting on defense, though. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
SIMP, like you said, starting out on defense with an IS-7, a Bat Chat, 2 STBs, 2 T-22s, and an M40, M43. In fact, I don't think we've seen SIMP play this map that much during the regular season, and that has got to be scary for eClipse. Coming in with an E5, 142 STBs, 2 T-22s, and an RU-251.
All right, now an artillery, David, on defense from SIMP. And we'll see. What do you think? Where do you think that's going to go? We have seen an artillery on this map, but again, we haven't seen it from SIMP.
Generally, the safest place for it to go is in the northwest. You can drop it in A6, but it's very easily blind-fired. SIMP knows this, so it's a little bit of a broadcasting, but they probably have some nice positions guaranteed to set up and protect it. 2 STBs are a great selection on this side of the map, so they can fire relatively hull down. It's a somewhat reliable turret. Not the greatest, but certainly not bad. A great gun on the STB as long as you can get stable and get the right shots that you're looking for. So right now, SIMP definitely exploiting their defensive advantage and using a T-22 to spot the eastern side. This is essentially a classic strategy. This is very, very old, but it is still effective to an incredible level. And eClipse is going to have to clear out the eastern side and bleed a whole lot of time and figure out how they want to transition back to the west to even stand a chance at breaking this, unless SIMP slips up, makes a mistake, and lets them back in. Right now, SIMP certainly looking like they've got an early advantage to convert this into a 4-1. Darkot Zim getting tagged for 463 by Photo Finish, and an incredibly hard shot over here on the ledge. As you come in this area, there's a lot of protective cover. You can just stick your hatch just above it and get the spotting. So Photo Finish sniped him on the move right through here. You can see just there in the distance just how hard it is for Photo Finish to get that shot. Just peeking his turret up over, and yeah, that's right about what he's going to be looking at right here as you come across the top. So fantastic shot by Photo Finish.
Right now, we are seeing eClipse go onto the hill down over on the eastern side of the map, running up that 0 line. And this is the hill we kind of talked about as being really exposed on this map.
It can be, unless you get into these hill positions or the town positions, similar to how eClipse is doing it. I think there's a little bit of a better way to approach it, but that's somewhat irrelevant. They're taking this step by step to clear out the eastern side. Overlord Prime taking 293. Bouncing a lot of damage as he goes into there. And now SIMP starting to rotate now that they know exactly where eClipse is. They're going to take up even better positions, clearly moving the STBs a little bit across the field. I did not expect that. We're going to see exactly what they have planned as SIMP moves into better positions to try and start to fight here. Overlord Prime getting counterlit by Mort. Mort getting counterlit by Overlord Prime.
That's how it works.
Both teams going to divide the map down the rail line, as so frequently happens on Pro.
Whoa, Drox is taking 732 there. Photo Finish taking some damage as well. eClipse doing a great job bleeding HP from SIMP. They are up about 2,000 points of HP here, so a great position to be on, but they are on offense, and if SIMP can pick this one up, David, they're going to have a 4-1 advantage against eClipse, and they're just going to need one more to pick it up, so this is a huge battle, I feel, for eClipse right now. Brett now coming in, he is spotted out here. Again, those shots from the railroads, pretty easy to reset the eastern cap. So we'll see if eClipse is going to go for that or if they're going to try to bait SIMP in. David, looking at the positions right now, a lot of spread right up and down that center line.
Oh, 731 coming out from Drynitz and landing directly on the top of Daralcab's E5. That's going to put eClipse at a, well, slightly less advantage as they have 2,000 hit point lead, better positions overall. Crimson Corsair probably on reload, almost finishing it up right now. He shot for a couple shots. No, he's still holding 3. Shot for a couple shots on draw cap. Didn't get the connections. Just not feeling lucky in that day. From the angle he was firing at, there is a good amount of luck just in the characteristics of how draw cap moves. You can send it, you can lead perfectly, but if draw decides to stop, the flight time on that shell is rather long from that distance, so you have to kind of guess, but Crimson Corsair holding the shells, coming in and trying to finish up draw cap. Him and Drynitz take him down as Tigers counter pushes directly on Crimson, knowing he only has 1 shot left. Tigers looking like he's going to convert this into a kill.
Let's see if he can. That would be a great pickup here for eClipse as they have just lost a tier 10 tank on their side. This looks like it's been the trigger, ladies and gentlemen, as T1 Diabetic and Brett also are starting to push over on the side. Tigers does take down Crimson Corsair. That is a tank for a tank, and over on the north, we have eClipse pushing over very aggressively, isolating Overlord Prime from the rest of his team. Master Pupil finds the Droxus. Overlord Prime goes down in a ball of fire to Brett, and now they have Nits by themselves. He has no one to back him up. Dark God Zim finds photo finish. Nits will be going down here. It looks like either a Master Pupil or Brett. A ram damage there for Master Pupil to take him down, leaving just 2 tanks on the side of Simp. It is E63M6 and Drynitz, and eClipse has done it. Again, the back and forth between these 2 teams. If they win, by golly, they win, David.
You said it. Dark God Zim coming in behind, going to try and get the kill on E63M6 as eClipse brings it to a close here. What a fantastic play from eClipse. Such a great understanding of this map. They've really come a long way since the beginning of the season in general, but on this map, they might be the best in North America right now.
Look at that. It's 276 ram damage there going on to the side of Drynitz from T1 Diabetic. He's going to fire. He's going to take him out. And that is going to be eClipse picking up their 2nd victory now against Simp onto Prohorovka. And again, they will now be on defense, so a great position for them to be in. As you can see on the screen, probably a lot of just stress instantly gone from them, as if, again, Simp would have won. That would have been 4 up, 1 more victory, and they could have taken it out. But now eClipse 1 step closer to $75,000. And David, like you said it, that is their map. I mean, it was a very kind of back and forth, a little bit of a dance, kind of an awkward who's going to make the first play. It was Simp, and eClipse was like, oh, yeah, all right, you got a kill? Let's kill the rest of your team for that one.
Definitely. Let's go ahead and check out those stats.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right now, for Simp, Drynitz in the M40, M43 lead in the pack with 2162. 5 shots out, 2 hits, 2 pens, 2 splash. 2162, like I said. And for E63, M6, 2153 in his T22. 1313 for Nits. Nobody else really even breaking 1,000. 2 zeros on the board, Overlord Prime and Adroxus. That's a rough situation to be in. Meanwhile, for eClipse, much better damage spread, much better angles. 3,041 for Tigers.
Wow.
2,600 for Mort. 2,157 for Master Pupil. T1 Diabetic with 1320, 1136 for Dark God Zim. And both of the rest of the players, Brett and Draw Cab, getting over 800. Getting close to that 1,000. But Tigers didn't want to share it.
Well, now, this is one thing that we just saw on Cliff, though. Just keep in mind against what eClipse did to Simp is they picked up a victory, a very decisive victory, be that, and then Simp just came back and won 3 in a row.
This was a huge morale win for eClipse. They know now they're on pro. Right. They were on offense. They got that win. They know they're only with one game away. They're on defense. And just in general, even if it was 3-0, just getting that point on the board, especially after losing 3 games in a row. That's the big thing. It's breaking the streak. If it had been 3 losses and then 2 wins, it wouldn't be quite as big of an impact. Right now, that's got to feel very good to them, feel like they're getting back on track. Like you said, they're going on defense.
Yeah, and if they can pick this one up, it's going to tie it up between both of these teams. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, let us know again who you think is going to be. If you change your mind, that's okay. You can do that. You're a human. It's fantastic. One of the biggest perks of being a human. Do you think it is going to be Simp? Do you think it is going to be eClipse? Both these teams, again, congratulations, are going to Warsaw, Poland for the grand finals anyway. So this is just icing on top of the cake for these teams. $75,000 icing, mind you. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, the next battle, let's see if eClipse can tie it up, or will Simp make it 4-2. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
That icing would taste like victory.
Victory icing.
Simp starting out on offense with an E5, a 907, 2 STBs, 2 T22s, and an RU251. eClipse with an E5, a 140, 907, 2 T22s, 62A, and an M40, M43. eClipse looking to tie it up with this game. And Simp looking to get back on track. Turn this into a 4-2. Dark God Zim, the M40, M43. I don't know if we've seen that from them so far this season. I'm pretty sure we haven't seen them bring an artillery on pro yet.
Okay.
But I'm interested to see how they do it. Simp, again, doing some familiar plays here. Pushing hard into the 5-6, one of the most critical points in the map. And looking to cut off eClipse as eClipse moves into the east. Perhaps a questionable decision putting that M40, M43 over there, unless they're able to walk him on the other side of the rail line and block it down. If he gets caught on the western side, it's going to be a problem. But it looks like there he goes, getting right up and over, as they're now starting to spot each other here on the fields of Prohorovka.
Let's see if any initial damage comes out between both these teams. Looks like shots are being fired, but nothing's connecting quite yet. Eclipse on defense really looks like they're trying to go over on the hill, and if they're going to go for possibly a flank on a Simp, I'd be very interested to see how that works out for them right now, as Simp is very bunched up. The only member that is not with the rest of the team
you
is
can
that
see the motion. So Simp was very bunched up, yes, but you can see the motion on the western side of the minimap there as the RU-51 clearing out the western side to guarantee they're safe, and now they've already cut the map down the 6 line.
They've got it in half.
That is an aggressive move overall. They've got a half. They can put a RU-51 on cap, and as long as they can play this rail line game, as we said,
that's right.
Frequently boils down to this as Eclipse now counter pushes, taking the southern side of the map. These two teams know how to play.
That's right. They're not going to let Simp have any little bit of time to try to get into positions. They're going to try to take it right to him right now. As you can see, T1 Diabetic, Brett, Mort, and Master Pupil from the side of Eclipse start to circle around the backside of Simp, and here comes the initial shots. Overlord Prime taking a lot of damage. Adroxis getting dropped to 453 in that STB1. Drynitz is going to find Dark God Zim. That artillery is now gone for the side of Eclipse. Eclipse down a good chunk of HP and even more as Drynitz takes down Drawcap, getting one more tank closer to being up 4-2 against Eclipse. Let's see if Eclipse can come back from this one. A lot of the members from Simp are bunched up. Crimson Corsair doing a great job covering fire there from the RE251 over on the western side here. Who is going to pick it up? 5 minutes and 53 seconds on the clock. Time is of no issue to both these teams. It's HP. It is how much damage that they can do on their tanks. Mort takes out Photo Finish. That is the first tank fallen for Simp. Eclipse trying to work their way back from this two tank deficit. Over the Prime, one more shot away. Master Pupil taking 730. So much damage going back and forth. T1 Diabetic takes down Crimson Corsair, and that looks like it's going to be the trigger for Eclipse to come barreling down. They take down Overlord Prime. E63M6 is getting surrounded, and it looks like Eclipse might be able to tie this one up, but not if Nitz has anything to say about it. He takes down Tigers there. 3 tanks on the side of Simp. 4 for the side. 3 for the side of Eclipse as Drynitz finds Brett. David, right now, who would you rather be?
Definitely Simp. They've got better positions, and Eclipse has to push out of an incredibly awkward situation overall. Great plays by Eclipse, great plays by Simp, but Simp already in the advantage here. Now that they're bringing in the second one, but that turns the tables as Eclipse comes back.
There it is, Mort picking up a huge kill, leaving now Nitz to fight for Team Simp against T1 Diabetic and Master Pupil. If Nitz can find Master here, he will make it a one-on-one, and that is gonna do it. Now, David, it's a 907 versus a T22. T1 Diabetic does just fire a shot there. What would you do in this situation? It looks like Nitz is just going to take it to him.
907 is the perfect counter to the T22. It's got the right amount of DPM. If you can negate the angles in the side armor, the 907 will have it all day. T1 Diabetic trying to get away as Nitz picks it up.
Ring around the rosy, no more. Simp picking up their 4th victory now against Eclipse. It is 4-2 here onto Prohorovka. Not only that, Simp is now going to be onto defense. They are looking so pretty to take home the $75,000 and be in first place. David, let's talk about that, because like you said, these teams know how to play. Generally, when we see Eclipse get the map cut in half away from them, the teams just sit back, they kind of wait, and then Simp would just increase that lead. Eclipse like, no, we got to go now. They did it, and it got so close.
This is what I've been waiting to see on Pro all season long. All this is taking up the other control of the map that the people give you. It's sliced down the 6 line by the rails. It's sliced in the middle by the berms. As soon as somebody jumps over, you take the other one. You just keep doing it until you get the right angles at the right time. Eclipse had that. Woo! They had it. They slipped up just a little bit. Simp had it. They slipped up just a little bit. It went back and forth, back and forth. Simp able to bring it back in the clutch. Let's go ahead and look at the stats.
Let's check it out right now. I am so pumped.
And the numbers stand alone as E63 M6 with 3,048 damage in his T22. Nitz cleaning it up, 4 kills, 2838 in his 907. Drynitz, 1783 in his STB1 with 3 kills on his own. Photo finish 1697. Overlord Prime 1295. Neither of the other players getting over 1,000. A great play by Tigers that we'll get into here in a second. Master Pupil at 3566 in his T22. Brett 2468 in his 907. T22 at 2256, driven by T1 Diabetic with 2 kills. 2,000 for Tigers, 1,500 for Mort. And Dark God Zim getting taken out. I'm actually surprised he got 262 given his position, but Drawcab getting caught out. This is not something you ignore, though. While he didn't get the shots to get the angles,
bounced a lot of damage.
The angles to get the shots, I mean. 1,800 is a lot of damage bounced. Now, Tigers there for a moment. Got isolated, knew he was going to go down to Nitz's 907. Dragged him into a place that was going to take Nitz a long time to get back, which is the only reason eClipse had a chance to come back there at the end. But like I said, 907 versus T22, when the distances are that short, 907 all day.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, Simp is now one more victory away from being first place and taking $75,000. It is now do or die for eClipse. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For Simp, on defense, 1 win away from $75,000 in an IS-7, a Bat Chat, 2 STBs, 2 T22s, an RU-251, 4 Eclipse, 2 140s, a 907, 2 T22s, an Object 430 version 2, and a T54. Eclipse has got to pull out all the stops on offense and throw a curveball into Simp. Simp not bringing the artillery this time. Never the type to do the same thing twice. Got to keep your opponent guessing. Got to keep the flexing up. You definitely want to take control of this match. Eclipse. Same deal for them. They're going to push into the 5-6, similar to the way that Simp did last time, sending a T54 into the west. Simp heading mostly into the west as well.
Wow.
We could see a brutal firefight coming out any second now. Photo Finish going to move into the same place as you in last time. That's going to be a great amount of information. And the rest of Simp's tanks just setting up in places to get shots based on that intel. Eclipse now flooding the middle of the map. They're probably going to slice it down the 5-6, move into the eastern side, catch the STB1, but there is a trick up Simp's sleeve here as Drynitz sneaks in a 0. And if they try to get any sort of special cap pressure, Simp already in Eclipse's head, drawing Eclipse into the eastern side. If Eclipse tries to put cap pressure here, they can let it get down incredibly low before Drynitz plays his card and starts shooting him from behind. But honestly, from that position, Drynitz can start firing relatively early as it's very hard to go get him. And now angles are hard to hit.
Exactly as you said it. Eclipse now feeling comfortable to go ahead and start applying cap pressure here over on the eastern side. Drox is taking over 300. T1 Diabetic as well. It looks like it is not going to matter here. 20 seconds now on the clock. Eclipse putting a lot of pressure here onto Simp. It is up to Dry, and it's now looks like it's going to be his job to get those resets. He's spotted out. It looks like T1 Diabetic found him, and now a lot of shots are going over on the side of Eclipse, but not a single one connects.
One does from the T22 T1 Diabetic. T1 Diabetic now in essentially a 1v1 with Drynitz. This Drynitz starting to take him out. T1 Diabetic's going to have to drive up there. Otherwise, he's going to take a whole lot of damage here. 66 seconds, 33 seconds left on the cap as Eclipse starting to try to work their way into a win here. Drynitz gets a nice reset, and he's going to be a perpetual problem for Eclipse as they try and figure out what to do here. A little bit of a fight in the western side as Crimson Corsair takes down Tigers, and Simp starting to look pretty.
That's the first tank down, and again, they just need 6 more tanks, and they're going to pick up their 5th victory. Eclipse is going to try to stop him, though, as Photo Finish looks like he's about to go down. Dark God Zim picks that one up. A 1-for-1 exchange here for both of these teams, and Nitz taking a lot of damage. Master Pupil picking that one up in that T22. E63M6 now being surrounded by Master Mort. Drawcap coming in for the kill. Drynitz, though, finds Master Pupil. It is now 5 tanks on the side of Eclipse against 4 for the side of Simp. Adroxus might be going down here. Both the shots missing, but Drawcap connecting his. Ladies and gentlemen, it looks like it is not all over for Eclipse. Simp has to now take down 4 more tanks with just 3 of their own to find their 5th victory, and Eclipse is not going to make it as easy as they'd like.
Now, that was a beautiful trade from Eclipse. You might see that T-54 go down on the western side and say, why would you leave a tank out there? Here's why. As soon as they realized there were 2 tanks in the west, they knew they had an overmatch and they pushed. If they did not have that information, this definitely would have been going into Simp's hands. But Eclipse showing their tenacity, staying alive yet again so far.
Yeah.
Unless Simp is able to pull a rabbit out of their hat on this one.
Wow, Dark God Zim going down might just be that rabbit. He has to bail off the side, going down into the water. A nice track shot there. Drynitz now finally taking some damage into that RU-251, dropping down to 610 points of HP. A head-to-head there. Drynitz should not be able to last for much longer. There it is, draw cap, gonna finish him off there. Now is a 2-on-4. The HP, though, is in favor of Simp, who is on defense. And David, in a world, do you see Simp picking up this victory here, taking away from eClipse?
Oh, anything is possible. We've seen a whole lot of turnarounds so far today. eClipse pulling draw cap out of a definitely sketchy situation. Overlord Prime, 621, 950. And now if you ask me that question again, I'll say probably not, as Simp falling both in positional play and HP. eClipse probably going to stay alive here. 600 hit point advantage, unless Overlord Prime can find T1 Diabetic.
Oh no, Crimson Corsair just fired his last shot in that bat chat. It is basically Overlord Prime versus the 4 remaining team members of eClipse. Now, granted, eClipse doesn't know that, but it looks like it's not going to matter.
Shot.
One more shot, and there goes Overlord Prime down, leaving just Crimson Corsair in that bat chat on the run. Now, he is on defense, David. There's just too much time, it looks like. 3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. eClipse has plenty of time to put that pressure on.
He is almost clipped. That's what he's going to buy time for the most. He knows he cannot manage the cap, but if he can get in the right place with the right amount of shots and he gets his targets, he could still potentially win this.
Okay.
It's incredibly unlikely.
Okay.
Incredibly unlikely.
Hey, again, David, just like you said, we have seen crazier things happen. Right now, he is focused. He is found. 327 going to him. He does take a nice bit of damage there, dodging a shot. Mort taking the shot, though, bouncing it in that object 140. That would have been beautiful for Crimson if he could have connected that one. 257, it looks like he is now in a position where he cannot go anywhere. Mort is going to pick that one up, and that is eClipse now going 4-3 against Simp. And here's the thing, David. Now it's going to be eClipse on defense. So they're looking pretty to tie it up here, but anything can happen.
Are these teams even playing offense and defense? I can't even tell anymore.
No, it's like
there's a cap on the map,
What side
guys.
are you on? What are you guys going for? But a fantastic play right there. David, kind of walk me through what was happening, because eClipse starting to cut off the map. If we had dryness in that situation, like you said, it was just going to be a constant thorn in their side. They found a way to deal with that by not going for him directly.
Two separated, and that's pretty much how it goes.
Okay.
The eClipse could actually manage that separation because they had so many tanks. If it had only been one that had gone into the west side and it had been Drynets, then maybe it would be okay. But the 2 tier 9s versus 1 tier 8 made a big difference in that situation. And eClipse, recognizing their advantage, Simp may be in their head for the beginning, making them do exactly what they wanted to, but lineup v lineup and just the exact little nitty-gritty of what happened in that moment allowed eClipse the exact window they needed to come back. They saw it, they took it. Let's go to the stats.
Let's check out those stats. It's going to be awesome.
For Simp, 2290 out of Adroxus, 2272 for Overlord Prime. Look at that damage block, 2560 on the top of that rail line.
That's a tank!
That is incredible. Crimson Corsair, 2067, 1900 for Drynets. Nobody else breaking 1500. For eClipse, 3388 out of Draw Cabin is 140. 3183 out of Mort, 1876 out of T1 Diabetic, 1808 from Brett's 907. Master Pupil bouncing 1190 in his T22 and doing 1300 damage.
Jeez.
Dark God Zim, 965. Tigers only getting 321, but like I said, his sacrifice was well worth it until they got. As soon as you know 2 tanks are pushed out, you already have kind of a tank advantage by the 2 tier 9s. It's a great opportunity.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, this could be the final battle. Simp just needs one more, but eClipse might be able to tie it up right here. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
For Simp, trying to close this one out. 2 E5s, a 907 is STB, 2 T22s, an RU251, 4 eClipse, an E5, a 142 STBs, 2 T22s, and a T32. I haven't seen that on this map in quite a while.
I mean, if you're eClipse, though, it makes sense. I mean, if you're a team that is known to play Pro Herovka, you're going to want to switch it up. So we'll see if that is enough switch up here to get a victory, tying it up against Simp. And oh boy, wouldn't that be a beautiful final story. Simp and eClipse battling it out in a tiebreaker match for $75,000. Both teams guaranteed now to go to the grand finals April 8th and 9th in Warsaw, Poland. But for eClipse to be able to get to that position, they need to win this one on defense. And David, with the starting positions, the starting opening lineups, who would you give that favor to?
All right, now, given the overall positions, nobody has a particular advantage over the other one. As long as eClipse has worked out exactly how they're going to rotate back east from this, they are still in business. However, Simp already cutting off a portion of the map, leaving RU251 there in the back to kind of flank scout for them. And I see where Dark God Zim's T32 is. I can get behind this. They're using the depression of the T-32 in that turret, try and get some reset shots over here. Somewhat equivalent to what Dryden's was doing by going all the way in A0, although it's hard to decide which one's inherently better. Right now, SIMP putting on some cap pressure, starting to draw back eClipse. eClipse rotating on the southern side. Much more common maneuver overall. And this is going to come to a head relatively soon here as both teams again fight on the rail line.
Look at all those shots now just going off between, not even on the cap, forget the cap, they're just firing now on the tanks.
eClipse might be rotating a little bit too slowly here, 20 seconds left on cap. SIMP throws on another tank. This is going to accelerate relatively quickly. SIMP not too dedicated to that cap, but 15 seconds left in a reset.
Nice reset there, which is going to pull SIMP completely off of the cap. Now going to go join the rest of their team. Photo finisher, Droxus and E63M6. They're going to try to maybe find an overmatch on the Tigers, who is sandwiched now between a lot of tanks and Crimson Corsair for the side of SIMP. He's got to be careful. One shot there going to the ground. He takes 322 there. And he is now on the run. But we talked about this part of the map here as Drawcap takes out Photo Finish. That is the first tank going down for SIMP, which is going to allow eClipse to barrel over the northern side to take down Drynitz. Let's see if SIMP can respond, because this STB1 is as good as dead. Brett finishing off that one. 2 tanks down for SIMP. eClipse sitting pretty with all 7. Let's see if they can continue this domination, this lead. Tigers is extremely low. One more shot, and he'll be going down here. Mort firing a shot there into Nitz, taking a little bit. Nitz finishes off Tigers in that T-22, and now 1 tank down for eClipse. The HP, though, in so much favor on the side of eClipse there. 7,857 against SIMP's just 4,451, and it just keeps going downhill for SIMP over the prime. One more shot away, it looks like. Nitz now 1 more shot as he takes 318. eClipse, ladies and gentlemen, if this continues, is going into a tiebreaker against SIMP. It is going to be down to the wire between both of these teams, giving it their all. Mort takes down Nitz. Master Pupil takes down Adroxus, leaving just E63M6 now as Crimson goes down. 7 tanks still alive and well for eClipse. This is going to be a tiebreaker. And David, would you have it any other way?
This could not have worked out any better.
No! What a fantastic play for eClipse. And again, not just a close battle, that was a decisive victory against SIMP. 7 tanks still alive at the end. As you guys can see there on your screen, they are smiling, they are happy. Both of these teams, David, both of them, 1 more game away, 1 more battle, 8 more minutes potentially away from $75,000, taking the title of the WGLNA Season 2 Gold League champions and having just all the glory that comes with that.
Neither competitor is going to leave here hanging their head in shame. No. This has been an amazing journey for both teams. Let's go ahead and check out the stats in that last game.
Woo! Let's check out the stats.
So for SIMP, 1720 out of Crimson Corsairs, RU-251. E63, M6 with 1,500. Same with Adroxus, 1,400 for Overlord Prime, 1,300 for Drynitz. Nobody else breaking 1,000. Meanwhile, such a beautiful spread, such a beautiful strategy. Not overreacting at all. SIMP apparently got the choice, and they choose to attack.
Oh.
No, they choose defense.
They choose defense, which makes more sense.
That makes a whole lot more sense.
I was like, wow, they've got a really good strategy.
Here we go. I was like, on Ghost Town?
Yeah, that's
this is going to be crazy,
but
they will be on defense here. Brett, let's get back into the stats. Brett with 26-11 versus STB. Overlord, or Mort with 24-69 out of his Object 140. Master Pupil with 23-30. 2,092 for Drawcap. 1,676 for T1 Diabetic. 1,200 overall for Dark God. Zem and Tiger's almost getting 1,000. Hold on, we got to check this out. Only 240? Huh. There's no way. There's no way. He stayed alive for so long. I guess he's just so good at dodging. They didn't even get to contact.
Basically in the majors, we're also getting word that SIMP has chosen a timeout at a great time, probably for both of these teams to take one. Now, I guess it would be more on the side of SIMP than for eClipse, because eClipse is on a hot streak right now. SIMP is trying to hopefully cool them off, give them a breather as they're going into Ghost Town. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it correct. The final battle of the finals is going to be decided on Ghost Town, one of the maps we've seen the least of. I was expecting that we'd see maybe some Sand River tonight, like, oh, maybe these teams have some crazy awesome Sand River meta, but obviously it is just going to be the Ghost Town that they are going to be sticking to. But what an amazing battle. Also, just a reminder, David, you chose SIMP to win this. I chose eClipse. We are now down to 1 more battle away to see who wins, not just between us, but but who wins the $75,000? Let us know right now in chat who you think it will be. We've got both of the teams, as you can see on your screen. It's a timeout. They're talking about it. Master Pupil giving a little smirk there to the camera. He is ready to go. But going into, oh, there it is. eClipse took their timeout as well, so we've got a nice break for both of these teams. They want to make sure that, hey, yeah, Simp's going to timeout.
We're going to cool time.
We're going to cool that timeout off as well. So looking at, but who would, maybe I shouldn't even ask this question right now, because even if you asked me who would I rather be, I could not tell you. Both of these teams have been playing so fantastically tonight.
So definitely you would want to go for the defensive side, so that would be Simp in this instance. Okay. However, both of these teams have played excellently on this map today, both beating their opponents when they played them.
Yeah.
And that is pretty great when they're moving into Ghost Town here. So I'm interested to see if eClipse has any sort of last-ditch offensive effort.
Woo!
I mean, they did convert wins on offense on Ghost Town, which is a tricky thing to do. Meanwhile, Simp had one of the best Ghost Town defenses I've seen to date.
Okay.
So, again, it couldn't have worked out any better here.
This is going to be a sick battle.
Definitely, whoever wins this battle, there's no doubt about it, deserves all of the money and the trip to Poland. But guess what?
They both get it.
They both get it anyways, as both teams definitely deserve it at this point.
Absolutely. Congratulations to both of them. And again, let's just talk about the story from Simp, the story from eClipse. We have Simp, one of the oldest teams in the league, amazing player talent, steadily building over the season. Then we've got eClipse, like the youngest team in the league, coming out of silver, taking it, going, hey, we just don't want to be relegated. And here they are, one battle away from first or second place. A fantastic turn of events for them.
And both teams recruiting as the season goes on, quietly on the down low building. Also playing most of their games early in the season because Noble and High Voltage played most of theirs later. So both of them coming out of the dark here near the end of the season. The only advantage for Simp was they didn't have to play in the playoffs to even get here. eClipse went straight through it like it was nothing. And now they're both here. And any second now we're going to be getting into the final game of the Season 2 Finals. No matter which way it goes, somebody's got to win.
I'm just so happy that we are both wearing pants for this one, because this is going to be a crazy final battle. Ladies and gentlemen, right now, who do you think? Let me hear if you think it's going to be Simp. Oh, let me hear if you think it's going to be eClipse. Wow, all right, so eClipse right now is the crowd favorite to win this one. Let's see if the crowd knows what they're talking about, or if Simp will come back and win this. But again, like you said, David, I just want to just make it a point again. Either way, these teams cannot go home hanging their heads. They've got to feel proud for all they've done, for all they've committed to this league, to this night, to the fans, and it's just been so enjoyable to watch up to this point.
We'd all love to give them both first prize, but this isn't Kitty T-ball. There are no participation trophies. Somebody is going to take it all.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see, who is it going to be? Is it going to be Simp? Is it going to be eClipse? Only one way to find out, and that is Ghost Town. Let's get right into it and take a look at what we've got for our tanks.
And for the last time of Season 2, 2015-2016, the teams face off. Simp on defense with an E100, 2215s, a T57 Heavy, an Object 907, and two T10s. eClipse with 2215s, an IS-7 and E5, a T22, a W100, and Object 416 on offense. We've seen these lineups. Perhaps we've seen these movements from both teams. And now we're going to find out who is better in the moment.
Will it be eClipse? Will it be Simp? Only Ghost Town will tell. Again, Simp has gotten to choose defense, which is a very smart choice, unless you have some crazy plan on offense. But David, right now, if you're eClipse for Simp, would you want to try to stall the game out? Would you just go for a head-to-head? What would be your mentality coming into this final battle?
It looks like eClipse is actually going to go for their initial strategy, putting on some one-cap pressure and then looking for that isolation, trying to draw Simp forward into one of their kill zones. Simp, definitely having studied this before, is going to have some sort of answer here, flexing around with their two T10s, trying to get a flank right now. Just lineup v lineup, I've got to say, Simp has a significant advantage over 1,000 hit points. If they do come crashing head-to-head, it is very likely going to go towards Simp. The eClipse is going to have a trick up their sleeve if they want this to work. It looks like they may be trying to get no muss, no fuss isolation. Here's the curveball that they set up. Last time they were much more even-handed about it. This time they're going to go straight in on the outside.
That's right. Now over the front, has to be careful and back off as eClipse puts a lot of cap pressure. Two tanks over here in the north, dropping into 40 seconds. Let's see how Simp can respond. Adrox is now coming down with that E100. 663 points of damage there, going on to Dark on Zim, resetting the cap. Another one as well. Dark on Zim might be going down here, but eClipse is going to turn this put the pedal to the metal and take down Nitz. It looks like a couple more shots, and there he goes. The first take fallen on the side of SIMP. Can they continue it, or will eClipse come back? Photo finish now. Gone from SIMP. Still, eClipse has all 7 members. Drawcap taking a shot there, 304. Cap pressure is now not even a problem for either of these teams. They're just worried about the battle at hand. Overlord Prime from SIMP starting to come back. There's a double kill from SIMP. Adroxus finds Brett, and that is a 5-on-5 now for both of these teams. E63M6 is in a danger zone. Mort will have a shot up, and if he can find it, he'll be able to take him down. No, it's gonna be Tigers. Now eClipse having the HP victory, having the tank victory. Let's see if they can turn this into an actual victory. The underdogs coming back. The Boy Scouts. Will SIMP be able to stop him? Mort takes down Adroxus. It is looking worse and worse here for SIMP in the final battle. Master Pupil is by himself. Crimson Corsair should be able to finish him off there, but Mort is gonna find Crimson. Just 2 tanks live for SIMP. It is Dryness and Overlord Prime against T1 Diabetic, Tigers, Mort, and Drawcap. If I were eClipse, I'd be feeling good right now as Tigers takes down Dryness, leaving just Overlord Prime to fight for his life, to fight for $75,000, but it's gotta be eClipse. They've done it, ladies and gentlemen. The underdogs, the dark horse, coming all the way from the Silver League, through the Gold League, through the qualifiers, through the relegation matches, playoffs, semifinals, and here tonight, picking up the victory, $75,000. Look at the excitement on their faces. David is absolutely speechless right now, and I would be too. Congratulations to that team, a phenomenal turn of events. Here they go to shake the hands of SIMP, who put up an amazing, amazing effort for the final battle, but it just was not enough. It came down to the wire. Either way, congratulations from both these teams. First, second place, they're both going to the grand finals, both going to Poland, and they can all lead with their head held high. Know that they played to their best of their abilities.
What an amazing game. Absolutely incredible. You couldn't ask for a better finals than that.
No, you absolutely could not. What a fantastic, fantastic play here. Not only did we have an amazing team, we had a fantastic pie in the face from Trevzor there. We are just getting ready to go down to the main floor where the trophy will be given away. Before that, though, we're going to be having an interview. But just, David, just final thoughts of the night, just the entirety of this, and just tell me your thoughts.
An incredible trap from eClipse so far. Just fantastic play, fantastic execution from both teams.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier with what we saw.
No, fantastic job as well. Congratulations again to eClipse. They've done it. They came their first live event, and they've taken down SIMP, a team who's been in this league for such a long time, taking home that $75,000 and the title of the WGLNA Season 2 Gold League. Congratulations, you guys. You definitely deserved it and earned it. And that hat from Mort definitely had to help. Charm. We are now getting ready to go to the main stage. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take it over. What do we got? Take it away.
It does not get much better than that. Down 3-1 early. Everyone thought it was over. There was people back there leaving. I said, don't go. Come back, because eClipse is not done. The sun has set on SIMP. You guys are now the WGLNA Season 2 champions. Chili Powers in the building. How are you feeling right now?
Ecstatic. I mean, it almost writes itself. It's poetic. First match of the season, we upset SIMP 5-4. We came back down, and we won our second to last game on proc, and then we beat them our last game on a tiebreaker. Exact same scenario. It writes itself. And then we saw each other in the finals again. The exact same thing happened. I mean, couldn't be happier. It's a great story for the team, and it really demonstrates that if you're dedicated, you can go straight from Silver to the best team on North America.
Now, last year you guys came out of the Silver League winning that, and you just decided to not stop winning and are now the Season 2 champions. Are you guys ready and excited that you're going to Poland to represent North America and could potentially destroy the rest of the world in World of Tanks?
Yeah, our mind's already on Poland in Grand Finals, and I'm looking forward, frankly, to working with SIMP, because I've known their callers for a while, and they're a really good group to work with, and I'm glad that those are the two teams representing North America at the Grand Finals, and I'm looking forward to a good showing from North America. The new format, new callers, new players. and hopefully we go out and dominate.
I'm hoping you guys can go out and dominate. Now, not only do you guys win $75,000, but we also have the commissioner here to present you with your Season 2 trophy. Commish, Ute in the building.
Well, let me first say congratulations to you and your team. It's been a good season. Did a great job, as you said. You started off coming right out of the Silver League as the champs, coming all the way through, told us don't ever write us out. Well, we didn't. So congratulations to Team eClipse being our WGLNA Season 2 champions.
It's a beautiful story. Shout out to everybody else who helped today. Meadowhawk was in the building. Toma, Negatron. I am Jose Fubar Sanchez. And these are your Season 2 winners. $75,000 richer. I'm excited. I get to eat some cookies. Congratulations. The champs are here. Pam, pam, pam. Rock open.